Now, our last speaker is also one of our newest, a member of both our Congressional Asian Pacific Caucus and the Congressional Black Caucus, Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland from Washington.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to leadership for joining us today. And I am so proud that the Tri-Caucus is getting together to denounce these attacks and talk about a unified approach to ensuring that people are held accountable. As all the speakers have mentioned earlier, whenever there's a crisis in America, there is a history of wanting to blame people. And in this case, it is violence against the AAPI community. And as described earlier, watching our elders get hurt and become victims of violence hits us in a very, very different way because of our culture and how much we honor and respect our elders. But I also want people to understand too, there's the psychological violence of the bigotry. It is a friend of mine who works in a nursing home who was told by a patient that he doesn't want her to touch him. It is someone standing in line at a grocery store who has people step away from them and has them call names. It's people being told to go back to where they came from. And that type of bigotry requires our allies and for us to speak up. We know that as members of the AAPI community, there's often this idea or this stereotype of the model minority. And that model minority often comes with the idea that people are going to suffer in silence and say nothing. Well, it's a new day. We are speaking up, we are unified, and we want people to be held accountable. I remember doing some of the research and I saw a letter that Judy Chu wrote back in July talking about these hate crimes. And here we are in February having this conversation and watching this fight continue. So I'm first of all grateful that the Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and our caucus is standing together to address this issue. But as Andy Kim said, we need action. People need to know where to go to report this, and we want to see consequences for this behavior or it will continue. If we think about the fact that we just celebrated the Lunar New Year, it is incredibly tragic that these crimes are spiking at this very time. As a country, we know we're better than this, but as a country, we know we have a history of violence. That includes the insurrection on the Capitol, it includes excessive use of force by police officers, and it includes this. So as we come together, let's make sure that all of our communities are treated with respect and dignity, but also let's make sure that we are standing up, that we're speaking out, and more importantly, that our allies are calling it out when they see it. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. And again, I'm proud to be part of this Tri-Caucus effort.